For the monogrammed dishcloths and towels, an alphabet is provided, and you select the alphabet letter that you want. And all of the alphabets that are charted are 28 rows long, but some of them are 14 stitches wide, and others are a little narrower, a little wider. Like an I is smaller, and the M's and W's are a little wider in order to chart them properly. And the pattern is going to describe how to center them from top to bottom. But for each letter, you're going to have to figure out how to place the letter. And it's a fairly simple process. The total number of stitches on the dishcloth are 34. And 6 of those stitches are the border, 3 knit stitches at either side. So that leaves 28 stitches. And what you need to do is mark the center stitch. So there will be 14 stitches on one side and 14 stitches on the other. Now, if my letter is 14 stitches, then that means that I'm going to have 7 stitches from the widest spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you've not done this before, you may want to get some graph paper and actually chart this out for each letter of the alphabet, for each letter that you're going to do. That might make it a little simpler. Now, when you're using a chart with the letter of the alphabet, remember, and here's the chart for the letter A, that in this one you're lucky because the widest part of the letter is the very first stitch. But how about for the letter B? For the letter B, this is the widest part, but my first row where I'm doing it is actually 4 stitches in. So I would have to have 7, 8, 9, 10, and then start this on 11. Now when you use the charts, remember that when you read a chart, you go from right to left, left to right, right to left, left to right. And when you do that, what that's going to do is for a symmetrical letter like A, it doesn't matter which side of the chart. If you're working on the wrong side of the row, it's the same on either side. But for the letter C, that's not the case. I go from right to left. Well, let's do it up here. I go from right to left, but on the wrong side row, I want to make sure that I don't start over here, that I start over here, or the letter's not going to look right. Now, how these letters are formed is you knit on the right side where there's not a letter, and then you purl on the right side where the letter is. And that gives this embossed appearance. And if it is a letter like A that is symmetrical, if you look at the wrong side, you're still going to be able to tell it's an A. You would not be able to do this with the C and the B, for example. But it's one of the easiest ways to get a design. So I'm knitting and purling, knitting and purling. On the other side, I'm purling and knitting, purling and knitting.